This is your daily market review for Monday, April 10th, 2023. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max, eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Monday, April 10th, 2023. Hopefully you had a great weekend, got some rest, relaxation, enjoyed the Friday where the market's not open. And yeah, got a chance to check out the weekend review. Not surprised by today's action. Somewhat, we needed to talk about it. Again, as we've talked about many times, when the people are ready to leave the market, the door won't be wide enough. Well, until then, it's just choppy potentially. And that's what's hard here. Timing is hard. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. And on that note, let's get into it. Again, trying to help a lot of people out here, trying to do the best we can. Again, frustration and wanting things to happen right now, always right now. That's the problem. It just is what it is. Like the tech short way too much, obviously, but that is what it is. Still sticking to it. Don't really see anything wrong at this point other than what? Maybe being early. And early, typical. It's hard to be, as I tell people all the time, if you think you're going to nail every trade perfectly, especially swing trading, you're out of your mind. The odds are you're going to hit it perfectly are 1 out of 3, in my opinion. Interesting news going on today. Again, we talked about all the things that have been kind of going on over the last couple of days. Samsung guiding down, a lot of tech companies, Foxconn, Apple. And then just even after the close, was checking this out. Looks like California is going to be ending subsidy or like reducing their subsidies on solar. The economy's slowing. Inverted yield curve, everything out there. Everything out there is pointing. It's just a matter of when. I remember the same feelings in 2008. Same feelings in the 2000s. I mean, early 2000s. It's a bear market. You just want it to happen when you want it, but it's not. There's just so much stuff going on behind the scenes, but that's the thing, right? Market climbs the wall of worry, but then also, too, when the market is chopping around, it gets people very confused. So, on that note, you have to define your risk. There's no guarantees. We could be wrong here. Absolutely could be wrong here. So, if you have any questions, please reach out. The Discord room, the link is in the description below. Definitely hit me up on Twitter. Definitely posting things that I think are important. This, especially like today, like trucking bloodbath, talking about the price. Oh man, price per mile dropping on transports. That's not, I mean, that just shows you things are slowing down so quickly. All right, if you're new to trading, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Did a live review today. Probably enjoy that. Again, just there's so much here, and I've tried to put it together on my website, tradingagent.com, www.tradingagent.com. Here you go, back to basics, get it organized. But again, all these videos, I'm telling you, when you're ready, you just got to be ready to study. You got to be willing to study. You can't do this like sloppily. I'd recommend, again, these 3 books. Check out the links below. If you go to the website, click on all this stuff. Hopefully, I mean, full disclosure, I'm an affiliate, but it's like for Amazon, I might make half a penny if you buy a book. Just, again, there's not that many books you really need to read when it comes to trading. It's not that hard. It's probability-based. Simplicity, knowing formations, repeating stuff. All right, Fed Watch Tool. We talked about this today. Interesting how interest rates sold. The odds of a rate hike in May, man, it's not that far off. 3 weeks. Growing. We'll see. Bitcoin, 29,000. Talked about watching this range. Is it going to break out? Well, hard to tell. Chopping near the highs. If you're a bull, you need to see continuation. If you're a bear, this could be a trap. Fail again. Oil. OPEC cuts. I went on a rant today. OPEC does not cut supply unless demand looks weak in the future. Repeat. They do not cut supply unless demand looks weak in the future. If you're not familiar with why and how that might be the case, think about it. Recession. It's that simple. Now, 5-day range after gapping up. Could it go higher? I mean, no one said it couldn't, but I wouldn't really expect such. Again, it's like when the Fed pivots, or it's more. It feels like more like when a lot of these companies are like, oh, we're cutting employees, and the market goes, oh, that's cool, and it rises for a few minutes or a few days, and then eventually, okay. Anyway, we'll see. Multi-day range, keep an eye on it. Natural gas. Every day I get a question. What's the best play on this? I mean, again, I personally think I would just leave it alone. Natural gas is probably going to be in this choppy, sloppy formation. Again, it's already showing you there was a recession coming, right? Demand for natural gas. Look at this crap. I mean, not natural gas is crap, but just look at the price action. Ugh. Now it's basing. I mean, Just because it's a low price, do you have to buy it? I mean, that's what sometimes kills people. That's just sometimes what kills people. And I mean, literally, like it'll kill you just holding on to it. The dollar, you're welcome. We talked about it, holding down here, gapped up today. If you read a lot of weekend articles and you pay attention to the news headlines, actually, you don't need to necessarily read it. It's a bunch of junk. But the death of the dollar was supposedly supposed to happen. We gapped up today, holding major support. Keep an eye on it. TLT, again, bonds selling. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good, but it could be a trap in front of the CPI coming out in 2 days. Chopping, as we've said, it's a big chop range. 100 to 109. I personally have said this over and over and over. The Feds know there's liquidity out there. They need them to buy bonds. So guess what? The best way to do that? Drop the market. Drop the market. Get them people buying treasuries. Again, they know what they're doing. The VIX. Interesting. Tried to get up. Tried to look like it was breaking out. Nope. Right back. Chopping. Is what it is. SPY. Nice little rally at the close. Do you trust it? I don't know. Feels like a lower high. Right shoulder. Just chopping around. Could it gap up on CPI? That's the biggest question. I mean, personally, again, what are the CPI numbers? Doesn't really matter. Unemployment. I mean, the cat is out of the bag in the near term. Inflation, is it coming down? It should be. But if it's not, I mean, that's a good question. It's a great question. Who knows what the reaction will be? Personally, I still think this is a short. Again, when you zoom out, I do this like every day. It feels like curling down 20-month, doji, chopping, at some point flopping. Just a matter of when, not if. QQQ starting to show weakness last couple days, but are you surprised? Again, same thing if you look at the monthly 20-month. This felt like the blow off, end of quarter, end of month. Now we're chopping. Is that the professional gap? Well, you'd like to see more oomph behind it. Seems to be just chopping in a range, but let's look at some of the independent. Like, we'll get into some of the Q names. IWM, nice bounce today. Now we've talked about this lagging, Qs and SPY up near the highs up here. We're way down here. Okay, keep an eye on it. Again, this 20-day seems to be pretty important. Either way, 176 to 179. Those are the upward bounds, in my opinion. DIA, watching the Dow, chopping here. 100-day has to hold. Gold, getting a lot of flack about this, and I was like, I would take profits if I was y'all. Again, 3-day, go gap down to gap down, gap down. I mean, that's the thing. If the Feds are going to keep raising rates and inflation's going to come down and they end up flushing the market, which I think they will at some point, will gold hold up? It's hard to know for sure. It is hard to know for sure. There's easier trades out there. That's my opinion on it. But again, if gold holds up, I'm always bullish. I own physical. I don't trade that stuff. But we talked about the bottom down here. Talked about topping. But now you're back up against the old range highs. Chop's pretty normal. Hard to believe in gold with silver lagging so hard. You were like, oh, it's up near the highs. It's like, no. It's still lagging even last year's high and the previous year's highs. Will it catch up? It's tough to know. I mean, if you're a bull, you gotta like this action. Big move and consolidate, could go higher. GDX, but here's where we get the confusion, right? The miners. Up against major resistance, weekly, monthly. Hammer after, like, it seems very explosive top of the range. Again, it seems to be, come on, give it to me. Here we go. Seems to be holding the top of this box range. I personally think if the market gets dumped, miners will get absolutely slaughtered, which they always do. Again, watch previous recaps if you want me to explain it. Again, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Remember, credit crunch, miners need money. Everything gets sold. It doesn't matter. Gold, again, is not a part of the indexes like some of these names are. And so it's like a domino effect. Drags these things down. We'll see what happens. Again, for the sake of the people who are long-term bullish, be careful. GDXJ, same thing. And zoom out, you'll see there's some interesting areas. AG, love that they said we're not going to produce anymore if the price is too low. Holding up well. We talked about that could have been a novice gap trap, turning around. But again, still lagging way too far below. We'll see if it catches up. AEM, holding up. but filling the gap, chopping up here. If you zoom out at the 50-month, can it continue? Newmont, interesting action today, right? Like it's fills the gap. Doji, is it backfilling to go higher, or is it trapping to go lower? PAAS. Again, I don't know why, but I've seen a ton of people recommending gold and miners, and I just don't trust it at the highs. Again, I would think this is my favorite setup, is when everybody hates this stuff and it goes higher. We'll see. Dynamics can change. But watch these areas, especially PAAS. Let's get into tech, because, again, all this stuff with Micron and Samsung and Apple, why are these names up today? I don't know. They don't really make logically sense, but they're popping back to the 8 and 10 day, trying to fill the gap on AMD. I mean, choppy, toppy, sloppy. Keep an eye on it. Taiwan Semi, obviously gapping down, all this stuff going on. All right, just watch this 100-day. Just watch the 100-day. Does not look good. But Micron popping up, filling the gap, getting back towards the range highs in the 63-64 range. I think you can short this again. I mean, you could art. Is this a professional gap? Was that a professional gap? Now you've got ranges that you just have to figure out. You want to short the highs with stops. And if you really want to buy low, I would think just watch the lows, what happens in the 57s. Because when you zoom out, you go, damn, this thing's uglier than heck. Uglier than sin. I don't know. I doubt we're going to fly right through those ranges. NVIDIA chopping around. Everyone paying 140 times future earnings for AI, filling the gap. We'll see. I mean, you've got references here now around 275. Just keep an eye on it. Do we continue tomorrow? Tough. Chop tops are always the hardest. They are always the hardest. Everyone wants the V. Chop tops are the hardest. Intel, we talked about this lagging once it hit up against its trend line. Upside target, whatever you want to call it, 200 month if you zoom out. Keep an eye on it, because if it rolls, it rolls. SMH, little popper today. Little popper, hitting the 8-day. Trying to fill the gap again. If this is a professional gap, back test a trend line. I mean, lighter volume pop. I mean, this is the thing about these candles. Like, this is an anomaly. If it's the size of this and the move don't really, again, they don't align up. It's a light volume pop with, I think, pretty much. It's interesting because the last hour just seemed like it was going nowhere. Yeah, that's what I thought. The last hour is just nothing. Seemed like someone just distributing into it. That's my guess. Adobe, again, now this is what's interesting. Some of the mega cap tech starting to weaken out. Double top. The AAPL. The news was bad. All right, people saying, oh, it's bought. Again, another gap down after you're hitting channel trend line highs. Ten cuidado. Amazon. Same kind of thing, just stuck. Not making new highs. We'll see. CRM. We talked about this one getting up into the 200s. Hits the 20-day. Not surprised it bounces. If the market holds up, 20-day is going to hold. Goog. Retest the highs. Inside day gap down. Keep an eye on it. Meta. What are these names doing? They're not ripping. We'll see. Doji at the highs. Keep an eye on it. Microsoft. All right. Yeah, I mean, inside Doji day, keep an eye. I like a lot of this stuff. Keep an eye on it. NDAQ. We talked about this. No. They're going to try to do crypto at some point. We'll see. MicroStrategy. All right, if crypto is back up at 29 through 30,000 breakout, well, here you go. Here's the next resistance area, right? What is it? Yeah, right in there. You're close. Getting there. Keep an eye on it. Again, I mean, I think you could. There's trades to be traded. Sounds obvious. Keep an eye on it. Netflix, we talked about this one shorting in the 340s. Resistance, backside trend line. Chopping, holding the 50-day. Roblox. Can't get over 45, 47, whatever. Chopping. Just keep an eye on it. Tesla, dogging hard. I know it's green candle, but I mean, you still finished down for the day. Don't lie to yourself. It's not that great looking. Keep an eye on it. Materials up today. Interesting that they were due. Caterpillar, right? Makes new low, rallies back some. Okay, about time. New core, not really that much of a rally back, right? But long wick, though. This is what was a little scary about it. I mean, hits the 20-day again. Wicking. Letter X. Chopping. Another wicker. Can't get over the 20-day. Keep an eye on it. VALE. Dollar up. VALE up? Okay, well, it's, again, 200-day, just chopping around. Arrow, watching this copper stuff. 20 days the key, get below it. I mean, you have an M top potentially. CCJ, what do you think? I don't know. Tough to say. Chop, chop, chop. CF, again, I'm happy for these ag names. Hopefully finding a bottom, but they had some serious wicks today. Again, chopping out. I'm not surprised. Again, I hope they throw the baby out with the bathwater and you get these names on significant discounts. Because if you zoom out on the monthly, you've got some support resistance way, not way far away, but way within, it's within scope distance to take shots at some point. Mosaic, same thing. Wick up, come right back down. NTR, same thing. Popped up, was up, 4 or 5 points. Wicking it, coming back. Just be careful. Pro gap or novice gap, could be novice, 20-day. See what happens here. I mean, again, it's one of those things. You can trade these things. I just don't think I trust them. Because, again, if the VIX has not hit 50 plus and the bear market's not over, how long can you stay on this stuff? That's the question. AA, another one you would think would be just flying around. Nope, chopping at the range lows. Financials, nothing. Nut and butter, nothing. Chopping above the 20-day, which, again, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's trying. But these levels matter. It's got to get over that. Just chopping around. Now, you have bank earnings this week. The end of the week, JP Morgan. I think you have JP Morgan, PNC, and Wells Fargo, Citigroup, BlackRock holding the 200-day. Not much to say. Morgan Stanley, chopping, range lows. Not much to say. Goldman Sachs. Love the Marcus product. Think it's great. Holding the 20-day. Just be patient. Keep an eye on them. XBI, again, this thing has just been dogging. Like, tech stuff should be up. It should be up in here. Down here at the lows, 20-day again. Higher rates, not good for baby bios. Remember all the money they burn and borrow. Burn and borrow. I mean, literally. All right, solar stuff. Nice pop today, considering California's going to cut subsidies hard. We'll see. Chopping. ENPH, dead money, I think, in my opinion. Just chopping here. Range lows. Sedgerton, same thing. Just chopping here. Channel. First Solar, rather impressed that it did pop as strong as it did. I thought it would fail at the 20-day. Again, didn't trade it, but thought that was a good spot. This candle just makes no sense to me what's going on here, but sometimes you play guess the next candle and you don't know why. You just don't know why. Just keep an eye on it. Be safe. Oil, not surprised. Again, as we talked about, popping, chopping, watch the levels. I would not be surprised if it flopped. UNG, again, up 6%. This thing is a donkey. People are like, oh, but not gas bottomed over here. Yeah, I mean, it's decaying. I hope it holds up for the people who are trading it. XOP, again, I still think if I owned this stuff, I'd be watching the ranges and the trends. Like, are we really going to get over that? I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Backside of the trend line. Again, look at the stuff later when it potentially dumps with the market. That would be my guess. ExxonMobil, they're talking about buying PXD. ExxonMobil has been historically very bad at buying companies at the highs in the oil cycle. Didn't react very well today. Let's go to Oxy, chopping around. Yeah, I mean, these things just lagging, some of them. PXD, again, was the talk of the merger rumors with Exxon. Somebody decided to sell it today. We'll see what happens here. If that's the best price they're going to get, that's not necessarily good for, I would think, for the for the energy sector. If they really thought they had something, they should be able to chart to get a premium. Where is EQT? Holding up, chopping. You got to like this, but then also you look at it and go, is that a novice gap trap with a wick? Uh-oh. Watch the 33 area. And let's end it with Flex LNG and a little rant. Wow, what a wick. Big volume. Tried to follow through. Long wick candle. It's tough. Really tough. So at this point going forward, right, you got the surveys tomorrow. NFIB, not a really big deal. CPI expecting 0.3, previously 0.4. Core 0.4, previous 0.5, expecting 0.4. You got PPI coming. You got retail sales on Friday and the big bank earnings. Again, this is tough to know. I mean, is the market always going to go up during April earnings? Because typically earnings is bullish. Like, that's the thing here. That's the thing you have to be most concerned about. Absolutely. It usually is. But here's the thing. If you are up into earnings, like so many names are, can it sustain? It would seem to me buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, we'll see what happens. I guess earnings officially hasn't started, so you could get a slap down at some point. But I would just say to yourself, be thoughtful, be careful, give yourself time. If you're looking to short, define your risk. If you're looking to go long, trade, be careful. Just don't marry a trade, because it's almost like the market's going to make you feel like you shouldn't sell when you should, and it's going to make you not buy when you should buy. We've talked about this over and over. So just know that paradigm, know that the psychology of how that works. So if you have any questions, please reach out. I appreciate it. Again, check out the newsletter that I'm going to be trying to circulate here every couple of days, www.thetradingagent.com. And sorry, I got distracted. And yeah, just hit me up if you got any questions. Here to help. Talk to you later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.